Hello everyone. Today in this video, me and my fellow classmates Hesham, Adam, and Wajd are going to be talking about Qatar's climate, and we're going to be comparing Qatar's climate to our own country's. So, can we start, Hesham?
Oh, all right. So for Qatar's climate, I will first be talking about its summers. Now, since we all live here, and we know how hot the summers can be, uh, we know that the climate during the summer is, of course, hot, and it's humid since we live mostly near, the ocean, stuff like that. And also, for the most part, it's summers are like longer here, especially that this is a desert, longer than winters. And other than that, the highest recorded temperature in Qatar is actually 50 degrees Celsius. And that's it for summers in
That's cool.
Qatar.
I'd like to add one thing though. The temperature difference between like the summer and winter is like really big. So summers can be super hot, and then it just suddenly just changes in the winter, like super cold. The wind is like strong, and
That's true. Yeah,
the humidity is like gone. It's just cold.
yeah, yeah.
I'd like to say like Qatar's climate affects the people around it, sort of, especially in their way of life. If you can see like the old people Qatar, they used to live in tents in deserts
Yeah, of
so
course.
they could get protected from the heat
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But now since we have buildings, we have more things, modern, we have more things to protect ourselves from Qatar's heat.
Yeah, no.
Yep. So for the winters are really short, usually lasting from around the beginning of December till February, early March, and they're usually filled with smoke and smog. Sorry, and we know that's due to the fact that there is temperature inversions. We studied that before, and basically that's because.
We're back.
And as you know, Qatar is a small country and filled with oil factories, and they produce, of course,
Greenhouse gases.
smoke and greenhouse gases. Yeah,
Yeah.
which mix with the water vapor and such in the winter and create smog. And the lowest temperature ever recorded here in Qatar is 1.5 degrees Celsius. This was the lowest temperature ever recorded in Qatar's history since the 1964 3.8 degrees Celsius. So it's pretty new. The only thing that I noticed here is that Qatar actually, I don't, from what I researched, it has never ever before snowed, and I've only seen hail once in my entire life, but that's it.
Moving on to pollution. Oh my God, Qatar is so polluted.
Yeah, it's a fossil fuel
Well,
Yeah,
country. Yeah,
because
its whole
because of the
economy is.
oil, because of the oil extraction from the earth and fossil fuel burning and all of that, Qatar's air has been so polluted to the point where the WHO reports that Qatar's air pollution exceeds the safe limit for health for the population. Now, because of this, okay, as we all know, this is source is fossil fuels. Um, Greenhouse gases are there are a lot of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere in Qatar. Therefore, making Qatar hotter and hotter each year. Um, Now, as we all know, Qatar has always been hot because it's a desert. But due to human interactions, Qatar will only continue to get hotter um, at an accelerated pace if we continue to use fossil fuels. Thank you.
valuable information.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Should we move on to the countries?
There is still the human activities, but I
Oh,
think we
Adam
already
said it.
discussed that.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
covered.
Yeah,
I covered.
we're good.
I,
We're good.
I think I'll just start with my country. I'd like
Yep.
to say the similarities between Indonesia and Qatar first. So the similarity is just that the pollution is affecting the country's climate very much. Like Adam said, the WHO said like because of Qatar's human activities, the air is very dangerous and it's going to be hotter each year. It's same thing happening in Indonesia. The pollution it's gonna make the country more humid, more hot, and pretty much polluted, like the air, the sewage systems. And yeah, that's the similarities. But I'd say the difference is that, of course, Indonesia is tropical, a tropical, country. It's not, it can't reach 50
Archipelago.
degrees. Yeah, archipelago. My bad. It can't reach 50 degrees Celsius. Maybe at some points, but like at average, it's at like 28 degrees Celsius, 26, 23. Um, yeah, it can't reach that high, but it's really humid. If you go to like the coastal areas, if, for example, Bali is like a lot of water around. It's warmer because you can feel it's water there. The sea breeze and land breeze is very evident. But if you go to like city areas like Jakarta, like, it's just so polluting. Um, you get really sweaty easily. The humidity is just a lot. And I'd like to say that it's been recorded that where is it? Let me see. Sorry. 1.82 metric tons has been emitted in Indonesia in 2014. 1.82 metric tons. That's a lot. And
Yeah,
Indonesia right now, 2020, is recorded to be the 44th most polluted country in the world.
must
And
feel
to
bad.
Yeah, really bad. And to set the record straight, we have the most dirtiest river in the world, which is the Kitarum River, which is known
Nice.
as the most polluted river in the world.
Can you drink out of it though? That's a real
Of
question.
course not. Of course, actually,
I mean, you can, but why would you?
well, exactly. Why would you?
You'll get all the good
Yo, yo,
disease.
do you seriously want to drink sewage?
No.
Exactly.
All right,
Okay.
time for my country.
Who's next? Okay, Syria.
Well, I know I don't really look like a Syrian, but I'm Syrian, yo. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so now in my country, it's different than in Qatar because we're not 2 kilometers. As we're bigger than Qatar, so it differs from where you're staying.
Of
So,
course.
for example, if you're near the coastal areas, the summers will be more humid and generally like way worse. But if you're in the inland, it's generally drier. And in uh, the 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 winter in Syria, my bad, the winter in Syria is mostly like the generic winters that we all know. It's cold, rainy, it snows, hail, all that. And it also depends on like your elevation. So if you're in a more mountainous area, you may have colder temperatures because you're at a higher elevation. But if you're like down at sea level, maybe you will get hotter temperatures in the winter. Other than that, springs are, beautiful. The temperature isn't that hot, not that cold. It's right in that sweet spot. Sweet spot, my bad. Um, and the highest ever recorded temperature in Syria is actually 45 degrees Celsius, which is close to Qatar's highest recorded temperature. And the lowest temperature in Syria, there is no real like lowest temperature, but mostly it's 0 degrees kind of. But it still snows and things like that. And the average temperature is between 12 and 27 degrees. And human activity in Syria isn't really that much because we don't really have the largest oil fields that much. It's not the biggest out there. But there are some mining facilities and like oil extraction. Other than that, there's no real human impact on it because after the war, most of the things, human influence really went down, and there's no real human impact in general there. And that's it for my country. Thank you.
Jordan?
Yeah. Since Jordan is close to Syria, Our temperatures are kind of similar. Basically, Jordan has is similar to Qatar in a way, in that summers are long and winters are short. There are many differences though, and that's the only similarity they have between them. Basically, Jordan's average temperature is always between can never go or has never gone below 0 degrees Celsius, and has and doesn't usually go above um what's it called 35 degrees Celsius. Um, it's usually very non-humid, very dry, and the winds there are really beautiful and honestly quite enjoyable to be around.
The
That's what
winds.
most, yeah, the winds, yeah.
Ah,
Most people in Jordan don't use ACs. Actually, till now, most houses don't have ACs in them because they just open the windows as ACs. That's how good the wind is.
nice.
Um, and it's not uncommon for Jordan to snow in the months of December to February. That's the winters. The springs are also like in Syria very beautiful. Loads of flowers and stuff like that. Its highest recorded temperature was exactly 50 degrees Celsius on September 6th, 2012. 2002, sorry. And it's just an all-around country. Nothing to hate in temperature or climate. It's very beautiful to be around. That's it.
Yeah. Moving on, Morocco. Morocco is relatively pretty average country climate-wise. Um, only common factors Morocco and Qatar has is the air pollution. Because of of course, the carbon emissions, factories, food processing. Uh, Morocco's air is pretty polluted. Not as polluted as Qatar, of course. Um, Morocco's climate is subtropical, pretty normal. It's got cool breezes from the Atlantic and Mediterranean Ocean. Um, it's pretty gets pretty cold in winter, almost negative 20 degrees Celsius, depending on where you are. Um, Springs and autumns are typically the tourist attractions for in seasons, which means springs and autumns are pretty enjoyable. It also gets pretty hot, almost 38 degrees Celsius. So nothing special about Morocco's climate. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I
Uh,
forgot to mention that the climate in Indonesia, it's just same all year round. Nothing really special. The night gets cold and the what's called the day gets like warmer.
yeah.
Um, the hottest recorded temperature is 40.6 degrees Celsius, which is in South Kalimantan, and the lowest is surprisingly just 25 degrees Celsius. Not very low at all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Mm.
it.
Yeah,
That's
I
nice.
forgot to mention a few things. Yeah, human activities haven't really affected Jordan too much because we're not exactly an oil powerhouse or producers or anything like that, or so there's not really too much pollution. The air is at an acceptable pollution rate, I guess you can call it. It's very livable, as I said.
You have a lot of forestry.
We do have a lot of forests. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
most of it is forests actually. Just a
Hmm.
few cities here and there. Amman is the biggest one, just a big city. And also like the only like notable thing I can think of in Jordan is that slowly the temperature is starting to rise from what I heard from my relatives, as well as the fact that some rivers where they could you can just put your hand in and just drink fresh water. Now you can't do that anymore.
That's sad.
Plastic. Yeah. But
Sad.
it's nothing very polluted like in Indonesia or like in India or any of those like really polluted rivers or anything like that. But, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so if you guys don't, if Jordan doesn't sell oil, where does do their economy come from?
The forestry.
Honestly, you think so? Was that really enough to sustain a country?
Yeah,
I don't know. You're the
tourism.
expert here.
You're
Yeah,
from Jordan,
tourism,
Egypt
bro.
maybe.
is all about tourism.
I mean, no. He said forest. I thought
I
he
Forest.
meant
didn't
Not
say
for me.
forest.
library.
I said
No, no,
I
no.
don't
But
know. I don't know.
no, but yeah. I mean, Jordan does hold one of the seven wonders of the world, Petra. So I guess that's a big source of income, because
I guess.
tourism.
Okay.
I
All
guess.
right. I guess with that we can close off. Ms. Tamil, if you're still watching, I hope you enjoyed us talking, and I hope you guys enjoyed our little buddies. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
And let's
Oh, never
say
mind.
you do. Let's say you do end the video and you do watch until now. Just comment banana down below.
Thank you, miss. Bye.